cleaner with powered suction to pull refreshing saline rinse in one nostril and out the other. Navage relieves congestion from allergies and colds naturally by flushing out allergens, mucus, dust, and germs.
I used to get so congested, but Navage cleans out all the stuff that makes me miserable so I can breathe again.
Now at CVS and Navage.com. You'll love that clean nose feeling.
Fox News Channel on Sirius XM. Your favorite shows on Channel 114. Plus, every story, every 15 minutes. Fox News headlines 24/7. Channel 115.
Live from America's News Headquarters, I'm Robert Gray. The Minneapolis-St. Paul International Airport shuts down as a powerful blizzard covers the Midwest. Airport officials say the snow was coming down too fast to keep the runways clear and de-ice the planes. The snow was falling at 1 to 2 inches per hour. The National Weather Service predicts the area may see as much as 20 inches of snow through today. Philadelphia Mayor Jim Kenney is calling for a city commission to review Starbucks policies after the arrest of 2 black men at one of their shops this week. The men reportedly refused to leave after they were denied use of the bathroom because they didn't buy anything. The police arrived after a phone call and arrested the men. Video of the arrest has gone viral. A third man said he was meeting them to discuss a business deal. I'm Robert Gray. Anticipation leading to the tell-all book from former FBI Director James Comey fizzling before it even hits the shelves. Instead of giving the media the proof they were hoping for to show the president obstructed justice, it's just full of scathing personal attacks against the man who fired him. Like this one, comparing President Trump to a mob boss. Quote, "This president is unethical and untethered to truth and institutional values. His leadership is transactional, ego-driven, and all about personal loyalty." And, quote, "I once again was having flashbacks to my earlier career as a prosecutor against the mob, the silent circle of assent, the boss in complete control, the loyalty oaths, the us versus them worldview, the lying about all things large and small in service to some code of loyalty that put the organization above morality and above the truth." President Trump not standing idly by, tweeting, quote, "James Comey is a proven leaker and liar. Virtually everyone in Washington thought he should be fired for the terrible job he did until he was, in fact, fired. He leaked classified information for which he should be prosecuted. He lied to Congress under oath. He is a weak and untruthful slime ball who was, as time has proven, a terrible director of the FBI. His handling of the crooked Hillary Clinton case and the events surrounding it will go down as one of the worst botched jobs of history. It was my great honor to fire James Comey." Joining me now, Ohio Congressman Jim Jordan, who is a member of the House Oversight Committee. Jim, I'm so glad to have you on the show. I love that you don't wear a blazer. That's kind of your trademark look, like my pop collar. Are your sleeves rolled up to your elbows? Can I see your? Can I see your?
They're not right. They're not right now.
I mean, come on, seriously, you're gonna come into Waters World with your sleeves not rolled up?
Well, I should. Next time I will.
All right. So, what do you make of this book, first of all, and then we'll talk about the Cohen raid?
There's no better definition of the swamp than this whole deal. So think about it. Rod Rosenstein writes the memo on why Mr. Comey should be fired. Mr. Comey's fired. He leaks the document to the New York Times to create momentum for Bob Mueller to be named the special counsel. Rod Rosenstein names Bob Mueller special counsel and is overseeing that. And guess what? One of the issues they're supposed to be looking at, was it obstruction of justice in the firing of Comey? I mean, you can't make this stuff up. So the American people step back and say, if that's not the swamp, this roundabout thing they got going, I do not know what
you
is.
need a Karl Rove whiteboard in order to connect all the dots. I mean, he personally signed off on the surveillance of the Trump campaign, knowing it was based on a fake dossier. dossier, and then he's basically the one that wrote the memo to fire Comey, and then he's overseeing the investigation into the firing of James Comey, whether that is obstruction.
Exactly.
Then signs off on the raid on President Trump's lawyer. So to the raid itself.
And you pointed this out, Jesse. The contrast between what they did with Secretary Clinton. I had Secretary Clinton in the Benghazi committee under oath during that hearing, and I asked her a simple question. I said, would you agree to allow a neutral third party, like a retired federal judge, to examine all the emails you have? Remember, she had them all. She had her personal ones and all the ones that belonged to the taxpayers and the government, and ones we were supposed to be able to see. I said, would you agree to that? Of course she wouldn't, and they got an even better deal. They got the deal where it was basically the FBI, James Comey's FBI, who called up Cheryl Mills and said, hey, Cheryl, when do you want us to come over, and we'll pick up the ones that you want to give to us after you've done the sort on the front end. Now think about this.
They got such a sweetheart deal.
Yeah, if President Trump would take the deal with the federal judge today in a heartbeat based on what they did earlier this week, where they just come in and grabbed everything Michael Cohen
had. And Michael Cohen had been cooperating. He had offered thousands, almost a million documents. They raid his home. Hillary bleaches her server, and they interview her not under oath and let her off with a slap on the wrist. Basically, scot-free. So you understand why people think the swamp is rigged. You understand why people think the president's being persecuted, and there's rules for different people if you're an insider or an outsider.
And that's the biggest thing, Jesse. That double standard. That's what drives everyone crazy. There's one set of rules for us regular folk, but if you're Clinton, Comey, Lynch, and or Lois Lerner, for goodness sake, you get a special deal. Nothing ticks people off more than that. That's what's got to change.
Listen to Comey write about his decision to reopen the Clinton email investigation pretty close to the election. Remember, they found a bunch of stuff on the laptop of Anthony Weiner. He says this: it is entirely possible that because I was making decisions in an environment where Hillary Clinton was sure to be the next president, my concern about making her an illegitimate president by concealing the restarted investigation bore greater weight than it would have if the election appeared closer or if Donald Trump were ahead in all the polls, but I don't know. What that tells me is he's a political animal here. He's not shooting straight. He waited. I think they waited like a month, in between when they found these emails and by the time they announced them publicly. He's already assuming Hillary's going to win, and he's conducting an investigation in a public way to, I believe, affect the post-presidency or post-election of Hillary Clinton, except the fact the polls were wrong.
Right. No, it's obvious the reason he released that wasn't to do harm to the Clinton campaign. He thought she was going to win. And Jesse,
he was trying to help her legacy.
Yeah, so did everyone else in the country, right? Except the American people had a different design on what should be best for this great nation. But he did it only because he said she's going to win anyway. I criticized him at the time. I was one of the few Republicans who criticized James Comey in October. I said he was wrong from the get-go. He was wrong in July when he went and did his big press conference and said they weren't going to bring charges against her. He was wrong in October when he reopened the case. He was wrong completely through this, and I took some heat from some Republicans when I said that in October, but the only reason he did it is because he thought she was going to win, and his statement just confirms that.
He does. And we talked about it also earlier up top, the fact that he's writing about this dossier and having it be talked about in a way that's unverified and very salacious. And, I don't know if that happened in that hotel room. That was the crux of the FISA warrant application to surveil the Trump campaign. So if you don't know if it's true or not, you're not supposed to offer it to the judge.
No,
he basically sank his own case right there. He's not a smart man.
Yeah, no, you're right. They led with that in front of the FISA court, and they didn't tell the court two important facts. One, they didn't tell them who paid for it, the Clinton campaign. And second, in the subsequent renewals of that FISA application, based on the dossier, they didn't tell him the author of the dossier, Christopher Steele, his relationship with the FBI was terminated because Steele broke a cardinal rule. He was leaking information to the press.
The central source or witness in this thing had already leaked and then lied to the FBI about it, yet they kept using him as a credible source to the judge. All right, Congressman, listen, next time you come on Water's World, I expect the sleeves to be rolled up. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
All right.
Take care, Jesse.
Is it the White House press corps or the press circus? We'll examine next.
Like the way you do, just keep on rocking through it. Please don't From my back pocket to my foot was like a lava flow down that sciatic nerve.
There comes a point with chronic pain where it gets so loud in your head that it's like you can't focus on anything else.
Wherever your chronic pain is, it can be managed from here with Quell. From this optimal stimulation point, the revolutionary Quell technology accesses the central nervous system. It sends precise neural pulses to the brain that trigger your body's own natural pain blockers. Quell is 100% drug-free, FDA cleared, and doctor recommended. It can be used day and night, even while you sleep. Best of all, for 4 out of 5 people, it works.
All of a sudden, I had this aha moment that I don't feel pain anywhere in my body. Anywhere.
I'm doing things that I used to do, and I'm a happier, healthier guy. My whole life's turned around.
And 2 out of 3 people reported a reduction in their pain medications with Quell.
She said, you know, you haven't refilled your prescriptions in a while because I have one of these.
I can focus on my life, and I can work, and I can go out with my friends, and I can do things.
Quell's patented prescription-strength neurotechnology automatically adjusts dosage to deliver optimized pain relief. Quell is easy to use and up to 10 times more powerful than ordinary TENS devices. It's strong enough to deliver widespread relief just by wearing it here, so it doesn't restrict you and you can get back to living your life. Call the number on your screen to order Quell now. We'll even include free shipping. Quell's pain-relieving effects build over time. Use daily for 30 days, and if you're not satisfied, return for a full refund. You have nothing to lose except the pain that is holding you back. Reclaim your life from chronic pain with Quell.
Call 1-800-371-9120 or go to buyquell.com to order now.
Hi, I'm Annette and I'm an actress. Under eye bags and wrinkles are so frustrating. I came across Plexiderm and I was so excited. We have a model, his name is Richie, and all he's doing is taking a small amount. It's so powerful, that's all it takes. And what I love about Plexiderm is you don't have to worry about the injections, the expensive plastic surgeons, because this is something that you can do in the convenience of your own home.
I was a little skeptical, I am not going to lie, because I saw people online with it and I'm like, yeah, right, that can't possibly work. Honestly, it really works.
I did this to my father at home, one eye so that we can compare. 4 minutes, 34 seconds. The appearance of his under eye bag completely gone. We were screaming. It was so exciting and amazing. You have an event, you have any of those moments where you want to feel the best about yourself, the videos that you see are real. Those are the results you can expect to see.
Visit plexiderm.com or call the number on your screen.
If you love your friends and family, give them a meal that will truly be appreciated. The Omaha Steaks Savings Celebration Package. Sold separately, this package is filled with $193. The third is saving
credibility. The guy's obviously got a big axe to grind, and he's completely biased against the president. I think he discredits himself more with this book. What do you think?
No doubt about it, Jesse. I mean, here is a guy who only found his conscience and his point of view after he got unceremoniously sacked. If he really had felt this way, then the proper thing for him to do would be for him to announce publicly that he was resigning, not having to be fired, because he just couldn't stand working for this president. But that's not what he did. He continued to work for this president. He had no problems up until the point that he got shown the door. And then suddenly, a few months later, after he writes his book, he finds that he has all these feelings that he needs to get off his chest.
You know what it reminds me of? It's like the person that goes and doesn't have the temperament to confront the situation face to face. He scurries back and writes in his little diary because he didn't really have the temerity to address it mano a mano. And it's like he writes down his feelings in his little... I mean, this is supposed to be the FBI director. You know, this is supposed to be a real straight shooter and an honorable man, but he's not being straightforward and honest with people. If it's Loretta Lynch, if it's President Trump, he runs and he writes something, and now he's trying to cash in on his little notebook. I want to read another excerpt. I mean, this is about the dossier. He says, "Can you imagine me, hookers?" President Trump saying that to James Comey. And then he goes, Comey says, he has a beautiful wife, and the whole thing has been very painful to her. So, you know, need to pay for that. I don't think anybody believes that. But Comey seems to be opening the door for the fact that it actually occurred.
Well, there's no evidence of that. In fact,